Hello, this is Romanosky, and I am in Lake Louise, Alberta, and I've got a wonderful old car here to show you, a proper motor car. This is a 1965 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 3, and this would have been the second production Rolls after World War II. So following World War II, there was a Silver Dawn, and then this model, the Silver Cloud, came out in 1955. It had the 4.5 liter straight 6 engine from the earlier car. And the styling was done by a guy named Blatchley, and I think everybody agrees it's one of the all-time iconic cars, and certainly there's not a bad angle on it. One of the great post-war cars, and I think in its day Rolls-Royce could lay legitimate claim to making the best car in the world, certainly throughout the 50s, and I think it was only the Mercedes 600 that came out around the same time this one did, where it had any sort of competition for that accolade. So anyway, so the Silver Cloud came out in '55. It went to 1959. And then they installed a brand new engine, which was a 6.2 liter V8. It was loosely modeled after the American power plants of the day, but was definitely a Rolls-Royce design. It wasn't built under license like some people assume. The transmission, however, was a GM Hydromatic, and that was at the time the best transmission on the market. So the V8 powered car was visually indistinguishable from the 6, and when it came out, it was called the Silver Cloud 2, and then retroactively the 6-cylinder cars were called Silver Cloud 1s. So with the Series 3 coming out in 1962 and running through 1965, I think there were some 1966s, but not many. Visually, the car is a little bit different. The bonnet line, as it goes from the Spirit of Ecstasy to the windshield, is raked, whereas in the earlier cars it was pretty much flat. And also the tops of the wings have been lowered a little bit. So the front end of the car is a little bit more, let's just call it modern, or even a bit sportier compared to the older car, which was a bit more square-rigged. Of course, the major difference was the quad headlamps, which were put in, I think, because it was the fashion in America, where they planned to sell most of these cars. And also to that end, the suspension was a little bit softer, and there was a little bit more, the steering was a little bit easier, and there was an available air conditioning system, although it was very intrusive and quite ugly in its installation, and this car doesn't have it. So the V8 engine would have come out in '59 in the Cloud 2, but it would have received a higher compression head because I think better fuels were available later on, and they could go to a higher compression engine. So this one's 9-to-1, and the earlier V8s were 8-to-1, and then this car was an honest 120-mile-an-hour car, which in its day might have been twice as fast as the simple economy sedans like a Triumph Herald or something like that. Okay, so these cars would have been, or are, incredibly complex, labor-intensive to make machines. They were, I think, unquestionably, the best cars in the world, at least up until 1965 when the Mercedes 600 came out, and there's all kinds of redundant systems in the car for safety, and nothing was done cheaply, nothing was done the easy way. It was done the best way they could, which makes it really quite important to get a good car, because restoring a car like this from the ground up, a nut and bolt restoration, I think it'd probably cost you $250,000. And the best Silver Cloud 3 standard body's probably only worth $100,000, and so that makes it a completely uneconomic situation. And so clearly, what one has to do is buy, the best car that they can with the best structure. And so we can do a closer walk around on this car.